girl on fire. I'm not a victim, a girl on fire. I'll stand my ground, girl on fire. I've made a choice, I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm every woman. I have taken up arms and I choose to defend all that I hold dear. Independent and strong, you will not keep me down. You can't break me.
Lynette Oxley here for Tac Shack Tactical TV and Ghost of Girls on Fire's 16 days of action for no violence against women and children. I'm here with Keshna. We've spent the day together and we will share a photo. Ujasiri has been all over her, so absolutely loves it. Today we've got Uji, last interview we had Spartan. So there's always dogs involved.
Yeah.
So firstly I want to congratulate you again for winning our Fighting Spirit Award. You had big competition.
Yes, I did.
And there was a large panel of 10 people. And it was a very close run for the first and second place, but congratulations. Actually, this is some of the prizes. I'm going to maybe just show them. Let's have a look. This is now we'll have to press in here. Let me just do it the other way around. If I can do it. Really sickling today. But in any case, that is the firearm. Nice and pink. And Keshna's wrote her proficiency training for competence today, so we're well on the way to be a firearm owner.
Yes, I'm very excited. Not to mention the other goodies.
Yes, there was, so the trophy was made by Studio Crafted. We forgot to bring it today. We've got a very nice holster, which was made by, so CZ was sponsored by Formalito, thank you very much, the importers of CZ. Pangolin safes, I'm going to just turn it around. The safe is not here, otherwise I wouldn't be able to pick it up like this. It is at home with Keshna, and then concealed carry did a holster.
It's got quite a few goodies in there. As you can see, I have opened it to view it here. But amazing stuff, and this is just some of it that I've received, not to mention that there's a lot of other stuff in here as well.
Is it?
What you guys gave on that evening.
Membership and all kinds of stuff.
The list goes on. I've got all my little pamphlets and goodies in there. The only thing I'm very sad to say isn't here was the trophy.
Maybe, oh, that's great.
I'll take a photo of it.
Okay, and we'll add it to the video.
Yeah, it's on display at my markets.
Okay, so on to not such nice things. This is the recording for today is the 4th of October.
Yeah.
Your incident happened nearly a year ago on the 13th of October.
Yeah.
What's happened with the case since then?
So, to be honest with you, nothing much. I've had to basically hand everything on a silver platter to the police. There is no feedback. You can ask as many questions as you want.
Yeah.
We found 2 suspects that match my eyewitness, and the police basically blames the justice system or the court in Benoni for not allowing me to see the suspects, which I don't understand because I'm the key witness. So it's been an infuriating, sad, heartbreaking experience, and no one has to go through it. I mean, I still remember, and I hope that the police officer sees this, telling me that in a year I would have moved on to the next loved one and that I would have forgotten about Chad. Well, my saying to you is that I feel like I felt the day that I lost him. And SAPS has failed, and they continue to do so every single day. And that is why I climbed into what I am now and what I do now. It still hurts daily. It's still difficult waking up feeling that he's not there. It's still difficult realizing that he's not coming home. And you don't make peace with it, you just learn to live with it. It doesn't take the pain away, you just learn to live with that pain. And there are still some very bumpy days, but October I'm feeling it.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
We're going to have a candlelight vigil. I will definitely be there.
Thank you.
On the 13th of October.
Yes, moving forward every 13th of October, we will do a candlelight vigil. And the reason why we want to do this is to ensure that victims or families of victims are not silenced, their voices are still heard. These people matter, and 14.5% of murders solved isn't good enough. It has to be higher. We have to have more criminals put behind bars. If it's not my family tomorrow, it's yours. Plainly put.
And it's not going to, even if they are caught, the justice system, the conviction rate is so low.
It is.
So the two suspects, are they in custody or have they been freed?
They are in custody from what I'm aware of. One is definitely still in custody. It is heartbreaking to say that both of these men have been caught by security companies and not even SAPS itself. And which begs the question as to why are we paying tax for SAPS when, you know, and I'm not saying every police officer is bad, but surely there should be a better way of getting SAPS officials to want to do their job and not being put into a negative light the whole time. And that is what I need to remind people is, yes, we do have security companies that are doing a better job, but what is the main reason for security companies doing a better job? First of all, they have the funds, the resources, they have the training, the experience, and they get the psychological help, which SAPS officials don't. But we are the ones that need to make that difference. We need to put pressure on SAPS, that then SAPS turns around to the government and says, we cannot do this without the funds and the training and everything we require to do our jobs. Because it's not all of them just rotten apples. They are good SAPS officials.
And if you look at the budget, the VIP protection budget is huge for a very few VIPs in government. And SAPS is totally underfunded. I do know that they do not get a very, very small amount of ammunition to be trained every year from our side. I know it's something like 25 rounds a year or every 3 years, which is a ridiculous amount. You can't expect them to be able to handle their firearms.
Yeah, it is heartbreaking to think that I've fired more, or how can I put it, I'm more experienced in different firearms due to you guys and having the opportunities I have with GOSA, you know, Girls on Fire. I've had more experience in different guns and being able to learn how to use them than SAPS officials have. Because if I look at it, there was a video posted a while ago about someone who couldn't even put their gun back together, and that was their training, their competency.
But I also, a lot of those, I blame the trainers.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to take a photo of your student not being able to do their job, it's not the student that looks bad, it's the trainer that should be looking bad, because the trainer hasn't trained the people. Don't laugh at your students.
Yeah, a lot of times I wonder what is the element, if it's good or bad. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's good that these things are coming out, that it's brought to light, because we need to know what's going on, and so does the government officials. They need to know how incompetent staff are due to the lack of training. And it is a bad thing because it makes us think that SAPS is a joke, and it, you know, doesn't give you the confidence to trust them as you would. So on one side, for me personally, it's a good thing, and the other side, it's a negative thing, because we need to see these things to be able to say, hey, but government, fix these problems. Look at what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for one of the videos that I've posted where I've mentioned a dad's name, that practically put KwaZulu-Natal under quite a lot of pressure because of their bad policing, yes, a justice system there, we wouldn't be moving forward the way we have. And I have to just say what an amazing person Olivia Jazriel is for assisting with this specific case, and she was on the ball the moment she saw the video. You know, we talked about it, and the way she just has her contacts is absolutely amazing.
So for the listeners, or the viewers, Olivia got second prize after Keshna. But let's then take a step back,
Yeah.
because you're talking about these cases. We started with something called Justice for Chad, and you've moved on to Ribbons for Justice.
Yeah.
Please tell us about these programs, and also let us know what are you experiencing with victims currently, including the one for KZN.
So,
What's happening in South Africa? It's not good though.
no, it is not. There's a lot of lack of trust in police. Sadly, that is the truth. Unless you have an organization backing you, your chances of getting help from SAPS is zero. And when I say that I've genuinely experienced it myself, we have had to fight for
Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. Sorry guys. The moat monster has just appeared, which is silly. And you can see why Keshna is not clean. So in any case, so do you still have the Justice for Chad, and where there's Ribbons for
Yes.
Justice? Tell us what you're doing.
So hashtag Justice for Chad is so that we can get justice for Chad. So I'm asking victims that have been affected by crimes to hashtag Justice for Chad and hashtag Ribbons of Justice. Ribbons of Justice, we focus on the 5 main crimes. So that would be your murder, your abuse, your assault, rape, and of course kidnapping.
Kidnapping, okay.
Yes,
That is
kidnapping.
on the increase as well.
Yes, it's shocking because from 33 we went up to 45, and it just keeps increasing and increasing. And please remember, when our lovely Becky Sele reads out these figures, many people don't report crimes anymore. They just absolutely don't report crimes.
Rape is very underreported.
Yes.
I heard figures of 1 out of 6, but people are talking maybe 1 out of 12.
1
or
out of
more.
9.
Is that your figures that you've
1 out
got
of 9 reports their rapes. And it is heartbreaking to see that they are so, I actually think it's a lot higher than that.
Oh my goodness,
Guys,
sorry.
this is why I'm so dirty.
Goodness
He
me.
absolutely loves me.
and it. Oh goodness me, and he has to be involved. I don't think there's one clean space on the dog at all. At least he lightens the discussion, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Oh my goodness me. So yeah, there's, what are you, and you've climbed in, and you sometimes scare the hell out of me, in helping victims.
Yeah. Look,
So what have you been doing with yourself in this last year?
there's been a lot that's happened. It's difficult to keep up with cases because as people can see, I'm not very often on social media, and the reason for it is because I'm permanently helping a victim. It can take hours just to get a simple protection order. I calculated the other day it was between 11 and 12 hours just to get a protection order, and we had to fight for this protection order.
And the protection order really doesn't mean much.
No, it doesn't,
In South
because
Africa, I've gone through the process with somebody else.
and the criminal violated the protection order twice and is still walking around. So the reason why I'm not on social media or posting that often is because I absolutely don't get a chance. Some evenings I sit till 11, 12, 1 in the morning just going through evidence, trying to help people. And what makes it difficult is, and it's weird because you actually do get attached to every single person you work with, and they dig this emotional little hole. You try to think of logic, and you put logic through, but people do dig that emotional hole where you're like, I need to get this case solved because this person deserves much better than what the justice system has given them. So it does take a lot of time. So I'll ask people nicely, please, if I haven't gotten to your case yet, I am going to get to it. It takes a lot of time to work on one case, especially with limited resources. I'm still brand new, so I'm learning a lot. And that is why I'm so grateful to have connections like Girls on Fire and Grosa introducing me to amazing people, because you learn on the job right now. And it literally is every day I'm learning something new, and you have to be quick and fast and know your rights in order to make sure that they are not ignored.
Because we actually talked at the Gerard Ackerman trial, you and Olivia caught up and you talked about the KZN case.
Yeah.
It's a horrific case.
It is a horrific case. We are not allowed to say who the criminal is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is a family member of this family that's done these horrific things. Yeah. They are absolute monsters.
And they look ordinary.
They do. So when I work on cases, and when it comes to, for instance, with abuse cases, these are people, and I don't want to put religion to it, but these are people that are highly religious. They highly look normal. They're the most friendly people you get out there. Nothing they do is wrong. And then you get shocked when you find out that they've committed such horrendous crimes as to raping partners, beating their children, and they look absolutely normal. And then people are like, no, you know, it can't be them. It can't be them. Yes, it could. They act normal. They filter in so well that they're either the center of attention or they're a part of the group.
Psychopaths.
Yes.
That's it.
And this is what people don't understand, is your own neighbor might be one and you don't know of it. You don't. And that's what's so difficult. Moving to the case of KZN, this person looks so normal and they're not.
Yeah.
They are horrendous. I mean, when I go through the details of what this person has done to the children, it is multiple
their own children.
Yes.
To start with their own children and then other children.
Yes, and it continues to build and build and build, where it spreads out into online platforms where they're basically sex trafficking their children online to other people across the world. And it's not just, you know, it's shocking to see how many people are willing to do this.
Absolutely. When I spoke to Olivia, I think the first time I met her for lunch, you know, and we read all of these things on Twitter, and you think that it can't be true because some of the stories or what's done is so horrific.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's happening all around us. It's not particular for South Africa, but it's a worldwide trend.
It's becoming a worldwide trend.
It's always been. I think it's just social media has brought it to the surface.
I also think that because criminals have so much rights right now, more sometimes than the victim does.
Yeah.
With a lot of cases, there's overwhelming evidence and the victim is still the person to blame. Yeah, but you're at fault for this happening to you. And that is what infuriates me sometimes, is I often go on videos and I actually go into the comment section and I say, stop victim blaming. Because people ask questions like, how could you have not noticed it? Like, even with my own case, how could you not have done something differently? It happens within a moment of seconds, first of all.
And I looked at your house. I would have never thought that somebody would get in there.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to get into that, and yet they did.
Yet they did. And yet people don't understand without the full story of the victim itself. From their perspective, you won't think, you know, that it's possible, but it is. There are so many elements to when it comes to a victim, the backstory behind what happens. They don't always give you all of the details for the media side. Reason being is you're trying to still protect that person. There are some brave individuals who's willing to put their faces to their stories and their names to their stories, where I've told them, let's pause until your case is done and then we'll do the reveal and say this is you and this is what's happened to you. Because if we go and we put a face, the victim's face, people can immediately associate the criminal with the victim and then make assumptions and then could jeopardize the case. That is why it's so difficult to report on crimes.
It's very difficult. Our third place winner as well, I think in the interview last year, Vanessa Teragavanda, she said, you know, people, I think the new girlfriend or something came to her and said, but how can you say this? But she's already in an abusive relationship at that stage. So, you know, she got blamed for what happened to her, and she was the victim. She was not the perpetrator.
People need to realize that if a person is a victim, that remember in situations with abuse, and this is what I try and remind people, they groom this person to make them believe that this is normal and that the abuse is love. And that literally is how it goes. It's almost like a copy and paste with the different cases that I've dealt with. It's copy and paste because it's literally the same thing the criminal does over and over and over. All that happens is they grow, they become more extreme until the person eventually murders someone.
Yeah.
And that is why I encourage ladies to go and report their abuse, because you might think, okay, not reporting it is putting me in a better position. What you're not realizing is you're putting other ladies in jeopardy by not reporting it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't report it and you find out that someone's died due to you not reporting it, that guilt is overwhelming. It's not your fault to be placed in that position in the first place, but I've got a case now where the victim feels it's her fault that someone after her got abused because she dropped her case.
So yeah, we just sat just around the corner from here with my interview with Gerard last year sometime. He said if you look at the perpetrator and your chances of actually surviving and not being dead is not good if you stay in the relationship. It's just a matter of fact. That's it. So ribbons of justice. Why ribbons and justice, and talk about the bamboo? How did that idea start with you?
So for privacy, Chad and I got this idea. Well, it was my idea, but Chad agreed that I wanted to put bamboo for a bit of extra security and as well some privacy. And we planted the bamboo, worked really hard on it, and it's sad to say that it's only flourishing now. But we had the bamboo
It's not
going.
sad. It's actually quite it's good that it's growing.
Yeah, it's good that it's growing, but I wish it was there for him to see his hard work as well.
And where does the ribbons go on?
The ribbons go onto the bamboo, and what we do is for our 5 main categories, for victims that contact us and say, I've lost a family member or I've been through abuse, you know, they have options of what they want to put on the ribbon. So whether it be their name, their case number, whether it be both, whether it be dates, regardless of what it is, we put their voices up there. And that is on display for the world to see, because we don't realize how bad the crime is until you see the ribbons. And what's worse is when I tell people that the ribbons that is displayed so far isn't even worth 3 days of crimes in South Africa. And they don't believe me. And when I actually go through the statistics with them, which often changes, I have to continue changing the boards that are outside, indicating what they are there for. People cannot believe or don't want to believe that it's that bad, but the reality is it is that bad. We just keep adapting to how bad it is.
But South Africa, I recently spoke on a women's summit, and South Africa is said to be one of the, well, it's the rape capital of the world.
It's the worst country for women to be in the world, yes.
Exactly.
It is.
And we have more crime for a country that's not actually in a declared war at this stage, which is, and that's the case. That's what's happening with all of us that stays here.
When I looked at it, I actually did research on that. So within a year, the Russia-Ukraine war cost 16,000 lives, and that was, I think I checked in the beginning of this year. 16,000 lives. We have over 20,000 murders in South Africa per year. Now, please note that yet again, and I keep telling people, Russia and Ukraine are at war, physically at war with one another, and they have less deaths in that war than a country that is not in war. So actually, we should be declared a country at war because we're at war with one another in here and ourselves here in South Africa. And that is the sad part about it, is I also believe that is also underreported.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I have a feeling that we're actually looking at much higher, and that's why I encourage people to go on my TikTok page, Keshna Phoenix, and to state whether or not you've lost a family member or whether there's been murders, because I'm trying to get actual statistics for journalists. When I spoke to another journalist, she indicated that for them there's so much red tape put in front of them that they can't get the actual statistics, and it's being sent up and down from department to department because of the so-called media issues that they have. They have to speak to this one for media, and that just doesn't work for me. I have a feeling that there are so many more cases than what we're aware of, and this sending from department to try and get figures is done as a distraction so that the real figures cannot make it out.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, please, listeners, go and let us know. We need real statistics.
Need to know real statistics. Keshna, Phoenix, is that specifically with the Phoenix rising? Or
Yes.
Okay, so because that was actually something that you are like a phoenix that risen out of the ashes.
Yeah, I mean,
because the 13th of October you were in the ashes, and the Phoenix is rising. So let us chat about how you are right now.
I am
and approaching the 13th of October. I know it's hard.
Yeah, I am. There are good days and there are the really bad days.
Yeah.
So I think what keeps me out of the bad days is actually knowing that I'm helping other people.
You're making a difference.
Yes, and it takes my mind off of the issues that I face at home, which is sometimes I know it's just avoiding it or trying to avoid it, but it's better than crumbling and better than sitting and doing nothing.
Getting up and getting on with it, because I'm sure sometimes it's difficult to get out of bed.
It is. There are days. It is difficult to get out of bed, especially on important days like birthdays, anniversaries, you know, the general holidays, the weekends, especially when you know you would have been off at this time, so you would have been together, going out to see what would have been mutual friends. It is difficult because you see a reminder everywhere you look, and that makes it a lot harder to cope with on days. And then there's other days where I'm rushing, where you don't have really time to concentrate on it. It's in the background of your mind, but you don't concentrate a lot on it.
Do you think your close family and friends look at you differently?
Definitely.
Good or bad?
Both.
Both.
If you're looking at me a couple of months ago, I lost an extreme amount of weight. I still haven't picked it all up. And of course, I've got people concerned that of my safety, because I dig deep into...
Yeah, I'm worried about you. I said to you, I'm worried about you.
Lynette, a lot of times I say, if the worst thing that you feared has been taken away, you have nothing to fear anymore. So I encourage people to not be afraid and to be brave and stand up. Because Chad was a legend, he was brave and stood up for me, and I need to do the same. I need to stand up for his rights and as many other people's rights as I possibly can.
But your body is taking the toll, that's why you've lost the weight.
Yes, of course. The stress, then you don't eat, you don't sleep, you're a mess. You're a complete and utter mess. When I hear people talking about me back then to now, there is a significant difference. I have more color, which I didn't realize I lost. Yeah, I had a lot more weight on me, and I was a lot more of a person before all of this happened. Now, it's difficult to have conversations, it's difficult to speak to people. So yeah, there definitely is an impact on the social life and aspect, because you watch over your shoulder permanently. You don't go out often, especially if you know your face is circulating there. It makes it a lot more difficult. So I don't go out often because people recognize your face and they feel sorry for you. And some approach you, some don't, which I'm grateful if people approach me to help them, but I'm also grateful if people don't approach me. So it's like a double-edged sword. there's so many different aspects to what, it depends on the day. A lot of times I tell people it depends on the day. So people try and book me to come and visit just for a normal catch up, and I say to them, I don't know what I'm going to feel like that day. Can I let you know on the day? Because I don't want to go out, I just want to be left to my own devices and do what I usually do, which is work on cases and of course the many other projects that we've started this year.
You're going to send us some photos which we'll include in the video of your garden.
Yes. So one of the projects that we've started was the veggie garden, where I firmly believe that if people are not hungry, they won't choose the option of crime. So I decided to start helping with the veggie gardens. I love it, it grounds me, and anyone's welcome to join if they'd like to be grounded a bit. So I plant some veggies, and when they're ready to be harvested, they will be donated to local food banks or for people in our community struggling to get food. Prices are rising, so meaning something else is going to rise very soon, which is crime. Crime's going to rise with
people are hungry. That's it.
So we started that, and interlinking with that is our recycling project. So
we saw at the photo shoot you were gathering empty little plastic buckets and stuff. So.
I permanently live somewhere with recycled items. So we take the plastic bowls because we're busy raising funds for our greenhouse, and instead of begging for the money, we decided to sell some of our seedlings to raise funds for our greenhouse, because I'd like to feed throughout winter, throughout summer to winter, and so forth throughout the next couple of years coming. Again, wet.
Yeah, and very muddy now, and play with the ball. So your Saturday markets, tell us about that, and when does it happen and where does it happen?
So the first weekend of the month markets. We host the self-defense markets. It is at the place where it all happened. And what we do is we are offering free self-defense classes, and every month it changes. From getting out of difficult situations like being cable tied to how to use you guys are joining me this month, how to use a gun and how to be safe around a firearm. We had some actual self-defense where there was kicking involved and hitting back. So every month it is different, and the reason why we're trying to do the different self-defense classes is so that people can learn different techniques, see what is comfortable for them, and meet some of the same-minded community members. And it gives you confidence, it really does. The moment that you know that you are not an easy target, the more you feel empowered. And that is why we started doing it, because I realized that there are not many courses and free self-defense classes available, and that's why we decided to do it. So
I'm going to introduce you to one of the other ladies that we interviewed earlier. Her name is Risha, and she does, this is exactly what she also does. So.
It's important. I want to ask facilities to offer more classes, because especially considering that people can't afford it, it is difficult financially for people to just put bread and butter on the table, not to mention are paying an extra $300, $400 upwards per month for once a week lessons to defend yourself. And we're speaking about basic classes here.
No.
That's nothing fancy, nothing one-on-one. So that's the markets that we do. We also try and support locally by encouraging businesses and people who make handmade products to come through and at a very reasonable price have a table there by us, and all of those funds go back into Ribbons of Justice to help with paying the person who helps us watch the cars, not wash the cars, watch the cars. They help unload and unload the cars and load them again. So whatever then is left goes into the ribbons. So it's very important. So we don't actually, it's not for the money part on this, it's more to help local businesses at least have some place to do it. We're still very small, but we're growing and we're learning from our mistakes, and we'll continue to. We're not going to stop this, you know, because we face 1 or 2 hurdles on the way. It's continuing and being consistent that will change, and it's every first weekend of the month
Okay,
that we
great.
do it. Yeah.
And you can go and have a look again on your TikTok.
Yes, TikTok,
And we'll share
Facebook,
all of those things. But I see a different Keshna today than I saw you last year this time.
Yeah.
You are a phoenix that risen out of the ashes, and I'm sure it's difficult, but you're doing such good work, and a lot of victims will not have had the support if you were not around. So thank you very much for doing that.
Well, I want to thank you guys as well. I mean, you supported me through a time where it was very difficult, and without organizations like you, I would have less confidence to do what I do. So thank you. You guys don't realize what an impact you also have on many of our smaller organizations and how you encourage us.
Well, this year you actually was one of the participants, I can't speak today, in our Top Shot. Next year you're going to be one of our ranch officers.
Yes.
You're on the development path, and it's going to be good. So it's very important to be seen as somebody that's empowered for other ladies that's in similar circumstances.
What I like to say is you can't preach if you're not going to practice. So don't encourage people to learn how to use a firearm if you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because then there's no point. You need to lead by an example. And that is why whenever I say something, I try and follow through with it, because that's the only way you empower other people, is to show that you are going through the same path and you are stronger at the end of it, and they can do it as well.
So is anything else, another message for ladies during this 16 days of action for no violence against women, children? Do you want to add anything?
Yes, don't keep silent. Speak up. The more voices that are out there, the more of an impact we can make. And if you go through a tough time, you're not alone. There are so many people out there. All you need to do is ask. And there are hands that will grab you and support you through the difficult times. I often want to remind people that don't stay the victim and don't stay the weak person. Become the stronger person that fights back and says enough.
So hashtag victim no longer.
Hashtag victim no longer.
Great, thank you very much, Keshna, and it's not the last time we speak.
No, definitely not.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Lynette.
And maybe you'll be cleaner the next time. I think the Rottweiler is now in the pool, and now he's going to share some more mud with us.
I don't mind it. We're going to have a good cup of coffee now, and I'm obsessed with your dogs and dogs in general, so it's okay.
Cheers.
Bye.
Okay, yes.
Dear South Africans, I would like to take a walk with you. Behind me tonight on the 13th of October, you will see that there are multiple ribbons placed on the bamboo here. The sad reality of it is we're not even sitting on 3 days of murder, rape, assault, abuse, and of course kidnappings. On these bamboos, there is just a small portion of people that we're representing here. The sad reality is that I don't even have 3 days worth of victims on the bamboo, and the numbers just keep growing. Yet again, what are we going to do to make a change in South Africa? I would like to see less ribbons, less candles at our next event, only because I want crime to stop and cases to get solved. Once again, hashtag ribbons of justice, hashtag justice for Chad.
Countless hours on the range, I am responsibly armed. I am your equal. I've empowered myself, I have practiced and trained. Fear won't control me. With my sisters in arms, we will make ourselves heard. We'll stand together. I'm a girl.